Good morning. Good morning. My name is Miriam Coe. My pronouns are she and her. I am a member of the Standing Committee here at First Church. We are so glad you are with us, whether you are joining us online or in person here in our beautiful sanctuary. If this is your first time with us, we extend to you a very warm welcome. If you are here in person, we hope that you will stay for coffee and conversation immediately following the service in the narthex. To learn more about First Church Boston or Unitarian Universalism, please speak to Reverend Stephanie or myself during coffee hour or visit firstchurchboston.org. There is a lot going on this fall at First Church, and I'd like to highlight a couple of things. After church today at 12:30, you are most welcome to join members planting daffodil bulbs. I think a few trowels are even available in case you left yours at home this morning. Next Friday, November 21st at 7, here in the auditorium, there'll be a panel discussion, Unitarian Universalism, Boston, and the Spirit of Revolution in the auditorium and on Zoom. And next Sunday, November 23rd, at 12:30, join our ministerial intern, Ebene Smith Cooper, for an improv comedy session. And an announcement from Beth.
Hi, I'm Beth Curran, and I am one of the House Meeting facilitators. The House Meetings is a project that is sponsored by, I guess, the Social Justice Committee. However, it's for everybody in the church. And what it is essentially, it's a small group, and it's an opportunity to get to know a few people, 6 other people, and to talk very, very nicely about what you're thinking about and getting to know each other on a more than just a chit-chat kind of level. We'll be doing these throughout the November, December, and the first one is going to be December 7th, so the first Sunday. It'll be after coffee hour in the auditorium. If you have any questions, please see me. You can also talk to Peter Banos or well, there's a whole bunch of us, but there'll be more information in the newsletter as well. So if you can just mark that down for anybody who's a member who has made First Church part of their regular Sunday routine. It's really open to the whole congregation. Thanks.
Thank you again for being here today. Let our service now begin.
We gather today as flawed people, people with scars and stories. We gather today in our messiness. Some of us may be behind at work or with the laundry. Some of us may be wondering how to heal a broken relationship. We gather today not because we're perfect, not because we have it all figured out, but so we don't have to feel alone in the mess of it all. So bring your whole self today, the angry and the happy parts, the confused and the hopeful parts, the fearful and the resilient parts. Let us be as we are together, held in the promise of a love and life bigger than us all. As our service begins, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we light our chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and say together our affirmation printed in the order of service, the promises that bring us together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please take a moment to greet one another, waving at the camera, by the clock, to our folks online. No, we are not jumping ahead to Christmas carols. This is the same tune as Away in the Manger, but it's a lovely fall hymn. I look forward to singing this every year. Please join me in number 52, In Sweet Fields of Autumn.
That's also the perfect song to sing on a day when everyone's going to be planting their the bulbs. That worked out so well. Good thinking. I'm Reverend Hank Purse. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I am the Assistant Minister for Storytelling, and I want to invite all of our young folks and those of you young at heart to come forward. Hey, gang. The story I'm telling this morning is actually a very old Buddhist story, but I've updated it a little bit because in the story, they're searching for something that I don't think we have in our houses as much as we used to. But this story is about someone who is very sad. She's very sad, and she doesn't know why she's sad. There are many reasons to be sad. Can you think of any reasons why people are sad? Or when have you been, I'm sure you've been sad. Have you been sad at times? Yeah. What do you know, can you remember one of the times when you were sad and what caused it? Yeah. You want to share? Sorry, I need to ask those. Oh, I see you've got a Band-Aid on your finger. Were you sad when you hurt your finger? I'm looking, just say yes at this point. But there are lots of reasons you get hurt, something happens. There are lots of reasons when we get sad. So this young woman was sad and she didn't know what to do. She thought she was all alone, and she talked to people. She talked to some people that she knew, but they couldn't really help her. And then she was out walking one day and she ran into this very wise woman, and she went, "Oh, you will know how to solve my sadness." And the woman said, "Yep, I can solve it, no problem." She went, "Really?" "Yep, no problem." And she said, "All I need is a Lego piece, like these right here. Do you have any Lego pieces at your house? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. I like the thumbs up. I like that. Good. There are 1.1 trillion Lego pieces in the world. Every year, the Lego company makes 60 billion Lego pieces. There are 140 Lego pieces for every person on the planet. So when this woman said, all I need is a Lego piece, she went, oh, great, I've got a Lego piece. She went, you need to go and ask someone else for a Lego piece. She went, that's easy. Everyone in their house has 140 pieces of Lego. And then she went, it's got to come from someone, a Lego piece from a house where no one is ever sad. And she went, oh, well, I'm sure that must be easy. So she went out and she went door to door in her neighborhood. Do you have a Lego piece? Yes, of course we have Lego pieces. Please take them. I keep stepping on them at night. And then she said, has anyone in this house ever been sad? And they went, oh, I'm sad. I just lost my job. It's like, oh, I can't take your Lego pieces. She went to the next place and asked them, Lego, yes. Sad, yes. On and on. People had lost people they loved. They had hurt themselves. They had just other things. Sometimes you just get sad and you're not even sure why. And she realized that the thing about the Lego piece is that everybody will have a Lego piece in their house. Well, not everybody, but almost everybody has been sad at some point. And what's important is opening yourself up and realizing that you're not alone in being sad. Other people have been sad, and it's good to talk to your friends and talk to your family, to reach out, because other people have dealt with this, dealt with being sad. And it's part of life, it's part of what makes us human. And then when you realize that, that's part of the healing process. And then you can go off and then when you are happy, it seems even greater because you know what it's like when you're not happy. So at this point, we're going to sing our young folks down to their classrooms, and we are going to move on to the rest of our service.
Every
us join together in this time of prayer and meditation. I invite you to take a deep breath and slowly let it out. Ground yourself in this very moment as best you can. In these troubling and heartbreaking times, we can easily lose sight of what we have to be grateful for. Let us meditate on these words written by Jennifer Behan of the Center for Inquiry. Spirit of life and love, we give thanks to nature for all it has provided us, for family and friends who walk with us throughout the years. We give thanks for those who have touched our hearts and made us smile. We give thanks to those who have alleviated suffering, who have championed a cause, for those who have resisted unjust laws, who have fought against oppression and injustice, and have fought for the freedoms we enjoy. We give thanks for those who have sacrificed their lives to make our world a better place. We give thanks for those who have advanced our understanding of medicine and science, who have helped explain the workings of the universe. We give thanks to those who have applied paint to canvas in a way that stirs feelings deep within us, who have composed songs and poems which make our spirits soar. To all the people, past, present, and future, who strive to better our world and make life worth living, to these people, we give our highest praise and our endless thanks.
Our reading today is from the ancient play Antigone by Greek playwright Sophocles. The version I read from today is from German playwright Bertolt Brecht, written at the end of the Second World War while Brecht was in exile. Here it is. Our two brothers, both dragged into Creon's war for the gray iron ore of distant Argos, and both killed, are not both to be buried in the earth. Of course, the fearless hero of the battlefields, Eteocles, shall, it is understood, be honored and buried according to custom. But the other, Polynices, who died in disgrace, it is now said of his body, and it has been made known in the city, that no one shall make a grave for him or mourn him. He is to be left unmourned and unburied as a sweet meal for the vultures. and he who does something about it is to be stoned to death. Well, tell me, what are you going to do about it?
Our theme this month is comedy and tragedy, and today is tragedy. And I'll just say that, as you've already heard in the reading, there is some heavy content in Antigone and in the sermon, and just take care of yourself. If you need to step out, that's okay. Here it is, 2 brothers dead by the other's hand. Edocles and Polynices, one the defender of the city Thebes, the other at the head of an attacking army. Their uncle, the king of Thebes, declares that the invader, Polynices, shall not be buried, except the brothers have 2 sisters, Antigone and Ismene. Antigone and Ismene gather. Does the other know what's happened? Their brothers are dead. The burial rites forbidden to one. Tell me, Antigone says, what are you going to do about it? And so begins this ancient play by Sophocles, written more than 2,400 years ago. The story of Antigone continues to raise questions which resonate. Categorized as a Greek tragedy, multiple characters, including Antigone, are dead by the play's end. But that's not the full tragedy. As a genre, tragedy typically traces a character with a fatal flaw, who learns to change only when it's too late. In this play, Creon the king is this character. Having condemned to death anyone who buries Polynices, he fiercely defends his choice and his right to choose as a ruler, even as circumstances spin out of his control. Creon does not change his mind when he learns it is his niece, Antigone, who has covered Polynices' body in dust. Creon does not relent to her, nor to his own son Haman, who is pledged to marry Antigone. Creon only changes his mind after a prophet warns him that if he kills Antigone, then his own child will die also. But it is too late. Both Antigone and his son are dead by their own hands. When Creon's wife hears the news, she also dies by suicide. The play ends with Creon devastated and alone. This is not the way the story had to go. Creon could have relented. So could have Antigone. Indeed, Ismene mourned her brother's death, but chose to obey Creon's edict, refusing to help Antigone, thereby escaping a death sentence. All the characters in the play made choices about how to act within the circumstances of their lives. Indeed, what each chooses and why drives the story. In reading or reflecting on the play, we know the questions are bigger than this particular situation. Who is right? Creon with a call to uniform rule of law applied to all in the city, even if it be his niece? Or Antigone, who denounces Creon's law as contradicting her duty to a divine ordinance and to her ethic of love? We face similar questions in our own moment. Must we always follow the law of the state? Or when should we heed a moral code beyond the law? Let me ask this. Raise your hand. Who among us has broken the law? driven faster than the speed limit, jaywalked across the street or against traffic signals. Okay, I see everyone's hand. And maybe you have also faced more serious infractions as well. And I am certainly not here to judge. I simply want us to start from the place that we all sometimes break the law. Perhaps because we judge the consequences to be low. I mean, who really gets ticketed for jaywalking in Boston? And maybe sometimes we do decide to risk significant consequences, fines, jail time, bodily harm, because breaking the law is the lesser evil to ignoring our sense of what is truly right. 175 years ago, Congress passed the 1850 Fugitive Slave Act. While the 1793 U.S. Constitution did contain a law that enslaved persons must be returned to their enslavers, this new 1850 law enabled such returns to happen without due process. Federal marshals were mandated to enforce the law, as were local and state authorities. Conversely, anyone helping formerly enslaved persons elude capture faced significant fines and up to 6 months in prison. Here in Boston, Senator Charles Sumner denounced the bill as unconstitutional and shocking to Christian sentiments, in essence declaring that it broke both the law of the state and the divine law of morality. The Massachusetts Anti-Slavery Society insisted that the law, quote, be denounced, resisted, disobeyed at all hazards or consequences. Its enforcement on Massachusetts soil must be rendered impossible. The religious or political journal that refuses to record its protest against the law must be unmasked, exposed, and held up to public abhorrence. Can you hear Antigone in this refusal to accept a morally repugnant law? Can you also hear echoes of this law in today's federal efforts to forcefully relocate people without due process, to demand support for such actions, to threaten those who do not comply? In every moment of history, each person must decide what is right to do amid a context beyond our full control. We live beneath the power of a state. We coexist with other people with whom we share the sidewalk, the aisles of the grocery store, the economy, the internet, and so much more. We are also animals residing within an environment we do not fully control. Not the weather, our absolute need for food and water, or the limits of natural resources on a finite planet. This inescapable reality permeates our living, especially, I think, our experiences of tragedy. Because wouldn't we try to avoid tragic situations if we did have more control over outcomes? We'd have the car stop before it crashes. We'd distribute the abundant resources of food equitably so no child went to bed hungry. We'd protect people from gun violence, and we'd ensure everyone had a safe place to sleep each night. We'd cure cancer. We'd disrupt the tragic outcomes of harm, hunger, and injustice that surround us daily. Except we are limited. We cannot always effect the outcome we desire. To help us learn how to navigate such difficult situations that are beyond our full control, tragic stories in literature, films, and music can serve as warnings, as catalysts to action, or as catharsis. We read a play like Antigone and we can feel the tension among the characters. Antigone wishes her sister would help her bury their brother. Both sisters wish their brothers were still alive. Creon wishes Antigone would just accept his need to provide order in a city so recently threatened by enemies, including an enemy who happened to be family. Creon wishes his nephew had never attacked. As the story moves forward, I hear a drumbeat, if only, resounding beneath the narrative. If only it were different. Tragic stories help us to manage our emotional reality of wrestling with all we cannot control. Sometimes all we can do is bear witness to past tragedy, such as the dehumanizing injustice of the enslavement of millions of African Americans, or the overwhelming loss of land, culture, and lives suffered by indigenous peoples. We cannot undo any of this past, but daring to confront these tragic realities reanimates the humanity of people who once loved and laughed and dreamed and lived as we do. As we gasp in horror, shed tears in grief, and vibrate in anger, the suffering of others reminds us of our own capacity to feel pain. Soberly, we recognize our struggles to navigate a world of heartbreak and loss. In response, we might just find a renewed commitment to alleviate suffering in our own place and time. Or maybe we learn to grieve what we cannot change. Recently, my partner Bill and I watched a limited series on Netflix about the 1881 assassination of President James Garfield. From the beginning, you know Garfield dies. It's a historic fact. And yet, as I learned about Garfield's unlikely political rise and his efforts to change political corruption in D.C., I found myself desperately hoping I was misremembering history. And that's only a TV show about someone I do not know. It is so much harder to accept the tragedies that I and people I know and love have faced. Telling, listening to, and experiencing tragic stories is part of life. This is not to counsel hopeless resignation to intractable injustices or preventable harm and violence. We may not be able to control everything, but there is much we can do. We can choose to resist injustices, to defy the king's decree as Antigone did, or like Ismene, we might choose to grieve our loss, but comply to live another day. We all face our choices, and we will not always be in control of all the options and consequences. That is a hard reality. It's a hard reality when the phone rings and your loved one has been in a car accident. It's a hard reality when news arrives of a job loss, a cancer diagnosis, an ICE raid. And such tragedy is our shared reality. Yet because encountering tragedy is part of being human, we are never alone in our experience of heartache, sorrow, and loss. And I know it's also true that great grief can leave us feeling very much that we are all alone, plunging us into a sense of isolated pain. In such moments, our experiences can very much feel singular, and in certain ways, yes, we each encounter suffering in our own way, bearing our own personal story. Even so, the colors of tragedy also imbue the shared reality of what it means to be human. And one way that humans seek to make sense of the shared reality of tragedy is through story. Antigone may be an ancient story, but the experience of making hard choices in a complex world remains true today. I cannot pretend such choices are always easy, nor that the consequences will not sometimes be significant, even tragic. What I can offer is my faith that our shared reality is also one of connection, of beauty and grace, generosity and transformation. Sometimes the change of heart comes in time, and a life or lives are saved. Sometimes people, churches, cities, and entire states rise up in resistance to unjust laws. Sometimes one individual defying the law can be a catalyst for others to change. And sometimes life is just simply good and beautiful and full of wonder. But sometimes life breaks our heart. In a moment, the choir will sing the Lacrimosa from Mozart's Requiem. As Bob writes in today's music notes, the minor key, pulsing rhythm, and repetition of a two-note slur conveys a powerful sense of lamenting grief. Experiencing such music can be an emotional catharsis. The music becomes a voice to the emotional depths we carry within us. While at times we may need emotional or psychological distance from hard things to help us heal, sometimes engaging with tragic stories or songs comforts us in the assurance that we are not alone in feeling sorrow. Perhaps as we acknowledge this shared experience of heartbreak, we might become inspired to care for others who suffer as well. May it be so. Ashe. Amen. As the choir sings, our offering will be received. And if you were here last week, you heard the Mary Margaret Earl from the Urban Ministry. And we didn't have our ducks in a row. Yeah, remember how I started? Messy, not perfect. So we're having today's plate will be shared with the UU Urban Ministry, a social justice organization in Roxbury that works across race and place to advance racial, social, and economic justice. So you could do something about injustice and suffering by contributing to the offering as you are able. Thank you. I was telling someone that all the pencils and the little heart stickies that you have at the end of your pews, it reflects that I sometimes have this frustrated preschool teacher urge to make you all do a craft. So if you can, distribute the little heart stickies and pencils among yourselves. And this is 2 weeks ago, I invited you to consider, what are you fighting for? And I think this sermon on Antigone carries nicely with that. For Antigone, she was fighting to bury her brother, to show her love for him, for her faith, her sense that the gods asked that she must do this, and to just give him the dignity of a burial, even if it meant breaking the law and cost her her own life. So I invite you to take a moment. Maybe Bob will just improvise some music for us, because you're Bob. You can do that, right? Play something you already played. It's fine. Anyway, to take a moment and write on those little stickies, what are you fighting for? What is something that you love, that you're holding on to, that you want to fight for? Something that inspires you, that undergirds your passion. And we've got the time, so just take a minute or two to write that down. So as you leave, and you can either hand your slip to me, or if you're going to hang out for coffee hour, there's the big whiteboard and the narthex and some good old-fashioned Scotch tape, because these sticky notes don't stick. And so if you can tape it onto that, we'll create a collage of our love for this world and for each other. And if you're online, feel free to email me at revstephanie@firstchurchboston.org. Look online, e-news. You can send me, and I will create a heart for you to put on to that as well. And our closing hymn, is number 119, Once to Every Soul and Nation. It's a song of commitment and action related especially to our state. So please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together. Please join me in extinguishing the chalice with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Sustained by our connections to each other and to all that is holy, let us go and be beyond these walls, engaging across difference, loving with abundance, and working together for a more just, sustainable, and free world for all. Blessed be. Ashe. Amen.